Hey everyone, I'm Armor Gaming, welcome back to my channel and welcome to Monster Legends. Today we are going to be talking about the 72-hour challenge. I saw quite a bit of comments of players asking me who I think is worth getting, so we'll get to that in a little bit. Before that, I really quickly want to talk about the maze. Specifically, because I had a comment about this, if you only have one available like breeding tree or breeding mountain, how do you get your 50 maze coins from breeding and hatching? Here's the trick, here's what you do. The first thing you want to do, assuming you're breeding Thunder Eagles, you want to place your Thunder Eagle, and then you very quickly want to do a quick breed of a Pandakin. In order to breed Pandakin, it could also be a Greenasar. You breed Fire and Nature together. So let me go ahead and do that right now. Fire and Nature. And you start breeding. And that is what you do. Because that's what you essentially have to do to get your 50 maze coins. Otherwise, you're not going to get them. So now I can sell my Thunder Eagle and check it out. 50 maze coins. If I would have sold that Thunder Eagle first, I wouldn't have gotten my 50 maze coins. Because it's almost like you need to first sell the monster, or you need to place a monster into the hatchery to trigger the event in order to get your 50 maze coins. And then I click repeat, and then I can go back to breeding my Thunder Eagle. So let me show you that really quickly. Sort by Thunder, scroll down. You can be a legendary Thunder monster with a common Thunder Eagle. If you have two Thunder Eagles, you can do that as well. Whoops, let me sort. I'm like, why is it taking so long? So Thunder Eagle right here, and start breeding, and take a look at that, 50 maze coins. So see, that's the trick. Assuming, like, because right here I'm trying to get Kralik on this side, doesn't matter. As long as I have one and I can kind of rotate around like that, that is perfectly fine. So that is the trick to do that. So then you would just go ahead and sell your Greenasar, and that's how you would get your 50 maze coins, assuming you didn't have them. Now the other trick is that you do have to be cautious, and you do have to not occupy too much of your hatchery. Because I'm going to go ahead and do this right now, and take a look at this. Now, when this Thunder Eagle is ready in 4 hours, when I sell it, and I place this Thunder Eagle, unfortunately, I'm going to have all 4 slots locked, so I'm not going to be able to get my 50 maze coins. So you don't want to do that. At the very most, you only want to have two slots hatching, so like the Positron and this one, and then you want to have like 2 of them open for you to kind of cycle over like that. And so I hope that made sense. I just wanted to make that clear to everyone that maybe wasn't getting your 50 maze coins from breeding and hatching because you're trying to participate in the other breeding events. I would also advise you, like, if you, like this, the mythic monster right now from the maze, getting the mythic monster from the maze is like a for sure thing. There's a maze dungeon right now, so definitely do that. But that's like a for sure thing. Getting Kralik from the survival dungeon, from the breeding events, that's not a for sure thing, so I would just advise, collect your maze coins. You only have to do it for like 2 or 3 days. The limited edition pathway will pop up soon. There'll be a 10% discount when the event starts. There'll be a 10% discount like 12 hours later or some number of hours later. I'm not entirely sure, just be on the lookout. And then you can get a brand new mythic monster. That's a for sure thing. So that's my advice. But with that being said, let's go back to the 72-hour challenge. Alright, so the 72-hour challenge, in my personal opinion, the #1 monster I recommend getting is no one. Honestly, like, I don't recommend it. Even if you're a newer player and you're like, ooh, a legendary monster, here's my chance. I still don't really recommend anyone, and here's the reason why. No, these monsters aren't anything too game-breaking, they're nothing too special. Hymas, it's interesting because I remember when these monsters came out, like Hymas, I feel like he introduced evasion, then he had like a, yeah, he had like a 2-turn evasion, he has like an extra turn skill. Stratomatronicus has like a powerful like 80 damage skill, but like they're nothing too amazing. So even if you're a newer player and you really want a legendary monster, by the time you're more competitive, you can probably get mythic monsters. Like going back to the fact that there's a maze right now, you can legitimately get a new maze monster instead of these legendary monsters. So these legendary monsters will slowly phase out. I mean, they've honestly already phased out. So in my personal opinion, hopefully you saw my last video on the Avis's Tail, right? You're gonna need gems for that progressive island. So what I personally recommend in the 72-hour challenge is for you to go for the gems. 2, 3, 5, that's 10 gems right here. 10 gems right here, this is 13 gems, that's 23 gems. 23 gems and 16, this is what, 23, 49, 39? 39 gems, something like that. Almost 40 gems from the 72-hour challenge. So that would be my advice for you. Go for the gems. You're going to need those gems for the event. Now, if you really do want to get a monster, then my #1 pick has to be Hymas. And this is because I think long-term, not short-term. If you're getting the monsters to use, again, I don't think you're going to use them that long. But SocialPoint has been introducing El Colossal breeding events. During these events, you can literally breed any single monster with the exception of the Forsakens and the Warmasters, and of course the mythic monsters. You can breed any legendary monster. So if we just take a look at the legendary monsters available, well, we'll start with the metal category. Well, let's say, sir, you breed Sir Automatronicus, now you have a metal monster. These are the monsters you have access to, okay? These are the monsters. More importantly, I think, is the fact that you can breed the Nemesis monsters, right? You're gonna have a chance to breed Talos. That's awesome. In terms of like metal monsters, I would say Wang Zhou is pretty good. Myrak is still very significant. And those two I think are the most standout monsters. Synapticus is pretty good too, but because he's super fast, has free skills, but I don't think a lot of players really got access to him. But it's really just those two monsters more than anyone that's worth breeding in the metal category. And probably it would just be Myrak who I would recommend. Positron I'm not too familiar with. I have him on my baby account barely. So, but I remember him also being quite good. But then when we go to the dark category, there are so many dark monsters in the game. Let's see who we have. We have Pierside. Pierside is still a pretty good monster. Halguden, one of my favorite monsters. Dodge area monsters are going to be so significant in the game. And who knows, maybe when there's a dodge area mythic monster, they won't be as important. But right now, combine a dodge area monster with an armor claw, and you're good to go. Dunraw, a Megaton monster, also very significant, super good monster. Scrolling up, who else do we have? We have scrolling up. I think even those two might be the most significant. So Pierside, Halguden, those three. Pierside, Halguden, Dunraw, I think the most significant from the dark category. But more importantly, are the Nemesis. The fact that you can get Samael the Plague Carrier. This is the go-to monster, the go-to Nemesis monster, right? Him and Ruby. So you want to get a chance to get Samael the Plague Carrier. Fever the Scatterer is also very good. So, with that being said, let me exit out real quick. Because right now the only other way to get a Sammy is a Samael the Plague Carrier is to buy Nemesis Chest 2. And if you saw my Nemesis analysis video, if not, there's going to be a link in the description. From Chest 2, he's really the only one worth getting. Everyone else is not that great. And I feel like SocialPoint did that on purpose so that players go after Samael the Plague Carrier. Like, this is the monster that made me spend money on the game. So, because Nemesis Chest 2 has this alluring chance to get Samael the Plague Carrier, a lot of players probably go for Nemesis Chest 2 and end up with like nothing good. So that's why I personally recommend, if you want to absolutely get a monster, go for the 72-hour challenge, go for High Mass in the 72-hour challenge, because whenever there's that Dark Colossal Breeding event, you have a chance to breed Dunraw, you have a chance to breed, I was gonna say Myrak, that's metal. You have a chance to breed Dunraw, Halguden, and Pierside, and more importantly, Samael, okay? So if you had to pick between Samael and Talos, definitely want Samael. Now here's the thing. To be completely honest, there's no indication, there's no way of knowing whether or not these two monsters will even be used for Sammy or Talos, or you know what I mean? Like, for all we know, maybe High Mass is gonna combine to breed like a Dark Ghouls or something, and you're gonna be sad. But for me, the way I'm thinking long term, what if High Mass, SocialPoint decides to make High Mass one of the monsters used to breed one of the versions of Samael? That would be awesome. It's better you pick them up now than to not have them at all. Okay, so that's just my line of thinking. Or maybe High Mass is used to breed one of the monsters that is then used to breed Samael. So that's just my line of thinking. I'm thinking long term. So again, overall, I don't really recommend getting them. I recommend you go for the gems. But if you had to get one of them, I would say High Mass, just because of the potential to maybe he'll be used in some way, shape, or form to breed Samael. Or just for the other dark monsters I mentioned, right? The Pierside, the Halguden, the Dunraw. Like, my Dunraw isn't ranked up. I would love if High Mass was used to breed Dunraw. So again, like, there's probably a small percentage, but a small percentage better than 0%. Because realistically, if you get either of these two monsters, you're not going to use them for long. So definitely go for the gems, because we have immediate events that could benefit from you having gems. But also go for the runes, because not the runes. Go for the relics as well, because you could kind of argue what's worth more, getting gems or getting relics. Because what if you open a bronze chest and you pop out a diamond relic? Then that was the best value. So make sure you get your relics, make sure you get your gems, and then if you want, priority for me would be High Mass, then Stratomatronicus, and then Ignatius last. But then you kind of have to decide, because the cost for this monster is so small. Like 70 coins for the first one. For Stratomatronicus 120, and for High Mass it's like 200. So to flip the very last card for the High Mass, I think it's like 22,000 coins you'll need in total, assuming you're super unlucky and you get it at the very end. It's like 22,000 mace challenge coins, I believe. For Stratomatronicus, it's like 15,000, and then for this monster, it's like 8,000. So yeah, that's that as far as that. In terms of how you actually get challenge coins, just so everyone understands, the higher your league is, the more challenge coins you get. So right now, I am in Legendary 3 League, so I get 510. When I jump to Legendary 2 League, I get 520 every time I spin the roulette wheel. On my baby account, because I am in Legendary 4 League, I only get 500. So it's very dependent on your league. So this is the one time it really does benefit you to be as high as league as possible. Now here's the thing, the more and more you increase your league, the harder the battles become. So take a look at some of these opponents. This right now I'm on my baby account, this is my free-to-play account, so some of these bases are very difficult for me. So what I still recommend for you to do is to put a very weak defense team on, because when there's a weak defense team on, you can get an easy revenge battle because the opponents that beat your very weak defense team are not going to have a good monster, like, for defense. Like, look at that, 105, like, who are these monsters? I can literally just save Rossi God. I can literally auto at this point. How to kill your dragon, the attack, blessing, and there we go. Easy victory. And just like that, I get to spin the wheel. I can get my 500 challenge coins, and hope that I do get the challenge coins, and success. Also, remember, do not try again because they do not add up. When you try again, you literally forfeit the 500 coins to spin again, and most likely you're gonna get the 500 coins. So don't do that. And yeah, you can literally battle as many times as you want. You can buy attacks if you needed to. I will say, if you were like, let's say you were about to get the monster, right? Let's say you were one card away and you needed like, let's say high mass. Let's say you were like the last card to cost like 4,000 and you're in Legendary 4 League and you're like, oh man, I can't get him. The event's gonna end. It might be worth it to just buy some attacks, okay? Because if you can spend like 25 gems, for example, and end up with a Legendary High Mass who may help you in the future for getting Samael or one of the other dark monsters, that'll definitely be worth it. So that's my advice there. You might as well, because who knows, maybe he is used and you'll be lucky. Also, in case maybe you're like me, maybe not, if you haven't picked up your 5 attacks in the Legends Pass, keep in mind that you do have 5 attacks at the very beginning. So let me just wait for this to finish, and then I'll scroll to the very beginning, and I'll show you that I still have 5 PvP attacks available. So maybe you also have those available. I don't know. We'll see, we'll see. So let me scroll all the way to the left, and let me scroll all the way to the right. Where is it? Right there. See? 5 PvP attacks. So maybe you haven't picked them up. If you haven't, there's some 5 extra attacks, 5 times whatever league you're in, multiply that by the number of coins, and you got yourself more coins. So also be sure to use those as well. But with that being said, that has been my opinion. That's basically my opinion on who I think is worth getting. Let's go ahead and like go for the high mass. Let's see, like sometimes players are lucky and they literally get the monster on the first card flip. Sometimes you get them on the second card flip. Sometimes you get them at the very last card. So I've mentioned this in previous videos. I've mentioned this since the start of the 72-hour challenge, the card flipping event. There is no way to actually track where the monsters. Okay guys, the whole card shuffling thing is really just a gimmick. Oh shoot, I'm not even showing you, my bad. I'm trying to get high mass on my main account. So the first 2 wasn't significant. It was like food in a level 3 rune. But yeah, this whole card shuffling, it's just a gimmick. You cannot download a slow motion app and then follow the card. You cannot do any of that. It doesn't work. If you do download like a slow motion app, because years ago I tried it, what you'll end up finding is that the card, wherever the monster is, it'll overlap with another card, and then you don't really know which card went where. Like for all you know, like the card you think it is isn't the same card. So it's all a gimmick. Oh, nice gems. It's all a gimmick. Really, the minute you pick a card, the other card is already predetermined. The reward from the other card you're gonna flip is predetermined. It doesn't matter if I get the card on the bottom left, on the bottom right, on the top. None of that matters. So I thought I'd let you guys know, just so you don't waste your time downloading the app, like trying to find out where the monster is. If you're trying to get for the monster, if you're trying to go for something else, because it does not work like that. Everything is predetermined from the server point. It's kind of like breeding too, right? There's no way to change the breeding. If you breed a monster, you're always gonna get that same monster, whether you turn your Wi-Fi on, whether you do something else. Like, it's all predetermined. And with that being said, the cost, you can kind of see how the cost of flipping a card increases exponentially. It is already at 1,000, and I'm still missing out on my gems. And I'm still missing out on some relics. I got a silver relic chest, so that's awesome. But let me see if I can get some. Ooh, nice, bronze. Let me see if I can get those other gems, the 5 and the 3. So let's see. Come on, where is it? Why does it shuffle so much? I'm so confused why it shuffles so much sometimes. So with this many coins, 6,615, I can probably get like 2 or 3 more. Let's see if I'm right. Ooh, got my 5. So actually, the 3. Okay, so this is because I already have high mass, and I don't care about high mass, and I want everyone to really really know that I'm serious about like focus more on the gems and the relics, let me exit out and go back on it. There's only 3 gems left. And am I gonna risk, like, am I gonna spend 2,000 coins for those 3 gems? I'm not gonna risk it right now because it is more valuable to go for Shadow Matronicas and try to get the 8 and the 5 here because the cost is a lot cheaper. So that's another way you can do it. So again, if you're focusing on the gems, don't feel like, oh my god, I gotta get the monster though, I'm so close. No, get the gems. Go for your relics and get the gems. Don't bother with the monster if you don't need it. As for, once again, high mass, you're realistically, I don't think most players are not really going to use them. If you want them for collection purposes, of course, definitely go get them. Same for Shadow Automatronicas, same for the epic monster. But realistically, I think you'll be fine. Now, I should mention that even the monster, what is he? He is dark and, oh, actually, this is interesting. He is dark and he is also metal. So maybe it might be worth picking him up, because what if he so happens to be one of the ingredients to make one of like Samael or Talos? Because I'm trying to think back to the El Colosso event we just had. I'm pretty sure I had to make an epic monster to get one of the monsters required to make what's his name, Faraday, right? Yeah, I was going for Faraday. So I think I need an epic monster to make like Toshiro or something. So maybe it might be worth picking up the epic as well. If you can't get both, and honestly, like if you're a long-term player, majority of you might be able to get both monsters, maybe all 3 monsters, so you don't have to make the decision. So this video really is for more of the newer players, or more of the players that can't get all the monsters. Now you kind of know and have some guidance, hopefully, on who to go for. So see, the cost is way cheaper. So if I would have been continuing on the high mass card flipping thing, I would have spent all my coins already. But because the cost is reduced again, because I'm on a different one, I have a high chance to get my relics and to get my gems. So especially because there was only 3 gems available on the other one. No, I'm going for the 13 gems right here. So come on, gems, where are you? With 2,550 challenge coins, I can probably do this 4 more times. And then if I want to, I can go over to the epic monster and have a better chance at getting them. So I got most of the relics. I need 1 more bronze relic, and I still need my gems. I feel like the game knows I only want the gems, so it doesn't give it to me. 90k. Alright, this is going to be my last card flip here. So come on, 8 or 5 gems. That's all I want. You can keep the monster. Come on, gems. And I feel like don't be enticed by the fact that Shadow Matronicas is ranked up. Like, because again, like if you're not going to use them, it doesn't matter if he was rank 2 or 3. If you're not going to use them in the future, what's even the point in picking them up? That's my opinion. So just think long term. Think about, is there any meta monster that you could potentially want that having him might come in handy? Because for all we know, like, the chances of him being the combination or one of the monsters needed for the monster you want is not likely, but you might as well be prepared. Like, even right now, because it's rumored there's going to be an Earth event, an Earth Colossal Breeding event, I already started hatching some Earth monsters that I do not have. So that's why I'll show you guys right after this card flip. Let's hope we end with something good. 15k food. Alright, watch. If you look at my hatchery, look at that. Osteoclast, and that's because with the Earth Breeding event coming up, I want to make sure I have every Earth monster available, or every legendary Earth monster, because there's a lot of epics. So he's in storage, I gotta start hatching him. Anyone that's in storage, you can go to your monstergram and it'll show you if they're in storage. I'm gonna start hatching them because I do want to maybe focus on ranking up my Warthog. Maybe I want to get some of these monsters that I don't have yet, like my Nabuline. Yeah, lots of the later Earth monsters I couldn't get. The Hyperia, a Megaton Earth monster. So I'm kind of just, yeah, it's just Osteoclast. Look, he was missing, so I'm gonna get him. Shihao is in my storage, so I'll do him as well. And yeah, maybe I'll start hatching some of the epic monsters as well, some of the epic Earth monsters, especially now that I have more space for them. So anyhow, with that being said, guys, I think that is going to be it for this video. Now you know what I think about the 72-hour challenge and who to go for. Sorry this video was a little long. I just like to be super thorough and explain my thought process. And with that being said, thank you very much. I will see you all next time.